Hello, welcome to my channel.
If you're new to my channel, it's so great to have you here.
Thank you so much for joining me.
I'm working on some little Flower Girls Posies now, and what I've done is I've taken a 2-litre soft drink bottle and I've just cut a strip out like that. And now I'm going to take my soldering iron. I find it easier to hold it when it's bigger, and I'm just going to poke 2 holes in it, and then I'm going to cut the circle out. Now because I'm doing 2 of them, I'm going to be doing 2 little discs, and I've got a foam ball which I'm going to be cutting in half. I'm just placing my piece of paper over a toilet roll so that I can get the holes to go through. And then I'll cut those out. And I'm taking a 1.57 millimeter wire, and I'm taking 60 centimeters of that, and then just dividing it in half. So I've got the center point like that. I'm just using a sharp knife, and you'll notice on the ball it's got a nice straight line that you can just follow around, and then just cut that in half. I find if you put the knife in it, you can actually get the ones that are half domes, but I don't have any left, so I'm using this. So just put your knife in and then just roll the ball. And then you've got your piece. I've cut the little plastic disc out, and now I'm just placing it on the center in the top, and then I'm taking a metal skewer and poking through to the bottom. And then I'm going to take my wire and thread it through the holes and straight through the polystyrene. Try and make sure that your wire is a little bit straight so that it can get through. And just push it all the way through. So that it can't. When the little girls swing this, it's not going to fly off. I've just got a toilet roll, which I'm going to be using later on for the handle, but just to support my little polystyrene so that I can work on it. And then I'm just going to bend these wires to the side so that it'll balance. I've been asked to use these flowers, but they don't want the blues in it, so they just want this champagne colour and some small little roses and another kind of little rose. So those are the 3 bunches of flowers I'm going to be working with. I've cut all my flowers down to a workable size, so it's about 2 centimeters. Ideally, if you can get a floral foam, it's better, because these ones are very, very, very dense, and you have to take a little bit of wire to poke the hole in it. So I just use a small piece like this, and then you have to secure it with glue because they somehow just pop out. To place the first one through the plastic, I'm going to be taking my soldering iron again and poking a hole through the plastic so I can get my first rose in the top. And then I'll glue that one in. And then we're going to poke some holes around the sides. So I'm putting 5 holes in. And then I'm going to take some of the small roses and then place them in those holes. And then in between the two, I'm going to poke 5 more holes going around. Which will be holding the little champagne colour roses. And then I'm going to be using a slightly bigger rose, like that. And once again we're going to poke 5 holes all the way around this side as well. And now I'm going to go around the bottom and poke 5 holes in between the 2 big ones so I can put some greenery in there. Just keep checking that your arrangement is straight, so it's balanced all the way around. And now I'm going to take some of the leaves and start filling some of the holes. These leaves are quite big, so I'm going to be just gluing individual into some of the spaces like that. But before I do that, I'm going to put some more of the little roses in between while we've got quite big gaps. So now we're going to place those 5 roses in the little gaps here. So it's pretty much between the 2 champagne colours. So I'm going to just glue those ones in. When you're doing flowers, it's always in 5s or 7s. So depending on how big you want it. This one is a very small one, so that's why I'm going with the 5s. But if you want it bigger, you go with 7s. So we've got those all done. And now underneath the large flowers at the bottom here, I'm going to be poking some holes in there as well. So I'm just using decided to go for a skewer because this is really, really hard. So I'm just poking 5 holes all the way around the bottom. And then I'm going to take some of the other leaves, like that, and stick them in there. I'm working upside down now so that I can see where the holes are. And this will be the last one. And now we're going to put some of the greenery in. So as I said, these are the leaves that come with that. So I'm just going to cut them so that they're individual pieces instead of the doubles. And then wherever you see a gap, just put a leaf in. I'm not gluing them in right now, I'm just first checking to see what they look like. I've placed all the leaves in all the little gaps, and now I'm just going to glue those all in. I'm quite happy with how it's covering everything. So these ones I'm not actually poking in, I'm just gluing straight onto the polystyrene. just checking to see that I've glued them all in. So those are all in now. I've pulled 5 of these little ones off the main flowers which come with this particular rose, and I'm just going to be spray painting them all gold because she doesn't want any baby's breath or ribbons in her arrangement, so that's why I'm just putting a wee bit of gold in. And now I'm going to be taking some of the little pieces that I spray painted gold, and we're going to place those in. Once again, as I said, we work in 5s, and now we're going to glue the little gold pieces in. Once again, these ones I'm only gluing to the polystyrene. Just make sure that you take all the little threads of glue off. So the flowers are all done now, so now we're going to work on the handle. So I'm just going to straighten the wires again and take the toilet roll off. And now I'm just cutting the toilet roll in half. And we're going to roll it to make a cone. So just like that, and we're going to glue that down. And then we're going to trim this straight. I'm using toilet paper to just bulk up the wires underneath, so I'm just going to wrap that all with toilet paper just above the bends, just so that it's nice and thick to go into the cone. And then we're going to thread all of that through the little cone we just made. Push it up as far as you can get it so it's nice and flat along the top. And then we're going to bend these wires in place so that they hold tight. And the excess wire that's sticking up, I'm just going to poke through the top of the polystyrene. And the same with the other side. And now I'm going to wrap the whole thing in masking tape, making sure that your wires are quite tight against the cone. I'm going to go around it twice. I'm going to be using this white satin ribbon. I'm going to be gluing it underneath as well, and then wrapping it around the handle. I'm cutting little strips and then trimming off the edges so that it doesn't hang over the side. And then I'm going to glue that on. So I'm just doing 4 little strips around the center. We're just going to glue those on. The last piece I'm gluing on, I'm not cutting off, I'm leaving it full so that I can wrap it around the handle. So just glue that one on. And then just go up to the top again. Once you get to the top, all you have to do is just trim it off and glue that small section down as well. I'm going to be using this lace, which has got some nice gold trim going through, and all I'm going to do is glue it onto this polystyrene all the way around the edges. And now you just have to clean all the little threads off. So there's the little Flower Girl Posy. After looking at my arrangement from far, I've decided that I want to use these small tiny baby chrysanthemums, and I'm going to be placing them just underneath the champagne colour rose. So I'm going to glue those in on the 5 champagnes. These ones I'm only gluing to the polystyrene as well. And that completes it a little bit nicer. And I think the lace at the bottom just finishes it off really nicely. So there my 2 Flower Girl Posies are. And next I'm going to be working on the bridesmaids. If you'd like to see how to make the bridesmaids, please subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell notifications so you can be alerted to when I upload those. If you found this video helpful or you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching.